Welcome back to the Integrated Leader Podcast. I'm Lauren Marie, and you're listening to part 3 of our series, Humanizing the Workplace. And today's episode is called How to Speak Your Truth Without Burning It All Down. If you've ever wrestled with whether to speak up in a meeting, whether to push back in an email, or whether to raise a concern when the room feels quiet, then you already know this one. It's not always easy to be honest, especially when you care about maintaining trust, not just expressing your opinion. There's probably an internal tug of war. On one side, the desire to be real. On the other, the fear of being too much, too direct, too emotional, too risky. And so what do most people do is we soften, we delay, and then we edit ourselves. And we end up saying something that's technically true, but doesn't feel quite whole. And here's what happens over time. That pattern chips away at your energy. You leave meetings with a knot in your stomach, knowing you didn't really say it. Or you hold it in so long that it finally comes out all at once, and the delivery undermines the message. What if there was a third option? Not silence, not self-righteousness, but a way to speak the deeper truth in a way that's heard, not just said. Because the real work here isn't just saying what's on your mind, it's saying what's on your heart without making the room pay for your frustration. That takes discernment. It takes presence. And it starts with knowing why you're speaking up in the first place. Before you walk into a conversation, pause and ask, what's the truth I'm here to honor? What's the relationship I'm here to protect? And what's the impact I want to have? Not just the reaction I want to get. That alone can change the tone, the pacing, and the energy of how you show up. One of the things I've noticed in my coaching conversations is that many leaders believe the choice is binary. Either I'm true to myself and I risk backlash, or I protect the dynamic and I water down what I mean. But integrated leadership isn't binary. It's built on staying in relationship with your truth and the people you're speaking to. You do not need to download every unfiltered thought. You do need to stop rehearsing versions of yourself that make others more comfortable at the cost of your own clarity. Here is something else I've learned. The body knows first. That tightening in your chest, that subtle anger rising up when you feel dismissed, that feeling in your throat, that urge to shut down and go silent. Those are signals, not symptoms. When you notice those moments, don't override them with performance. Get curious. You can ask yourself, what am I protecting by staying quiet? What do I need to say, not to be heard, but to be whole? Now, let's get really honest about a common trap. A lot of well-meaning leaders avoid conflict under the banner of professionalism. But being professional isn't always the same as being respectful. And keeping things positive isn't always the same as building trust. Sometimes the most professional thing you can do is name the thing no one else is naming, because the group can't move forward until somebody does it. When spoken from a calm presence, not pressure or righteousness, your words can become an anchor, not a weapon. So here's a practical phrase I use when I know the truth needs to land, but the moment is tender. I want to say something that might feel disruptive, but I'm offering it from care. That framing has helped me hold tension in rooms where disagreement might trigger retreat. It signals I'm here to stay in the work, not throw grenades and leave. So let's wrap it up with this. If you're someone who tends to overthink before you speak, or someone who speaks first and regrets later, what's needed isn't a new script. It's a new relationship to your own voice. Your voice is not a liability. It's not a disruptor to culture. It is your culture. If you use it with clarity, intention, and care. The goal is not to be perfectly polished. The goal is to be trustworthy. And trust begins with inner congruence and alignment. When you speak from that place, when your truth and your own tone align, people may not always agree with you, but they will respect you. And more importantly, you will respect you. Thanks for being here with me today. Tomorrow we'll continue this series with a big one, rewriting the DEI narrative for the new era. We're going to talk about what happens when inclusion gets reduced to performance and how to lead in a way that's not just responsive, but regenerative. See you then.